Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So in the last video we had discussed up to Mendeleev's periodic table, right? You know that before Mendeleev also two more scientists studied the classification of elements, that is Dobryniec and Newland, but their approach of study or whatever be the result they had acquired was not sufficient to describe the properties of all the elements. Due to lots of limitations, their laws were not accepted. In the same manner, in case of Mendeleev's periodic table also, we had got so many limitations. So out of this all disorderness, that is, we are not coming into an exact solution or exact law by which we can classify all the elements. So out of this all problem, in the year 1913, Henry Moseley developed the modern periodic table, which is the acceptable one, or the one which is being used at present is the modern periodic table developed by Henry Moseley. Now you know that up to Mendeleev's, when they classified elements, their approach of study was on the basis of atomic mass. That is, they considered atomic mass is the fundamental property of classifying an element or classifying all the elements. But in case of Henry Moseley, there is in modern periodic table here atomic number is given more preference than that of atomic mass. That is, according to Henry Moseley, atomic number is the fundamental property than the atomic mass. So his law is like this: properties of elements are the periodic functions of their atomic number, not the atomic mass. That means his approach is completely different than that of the earlier scientist one, because their approach was on the basis of atomic mass and his approach is on the basis of atomic number. Now you know that what is atomic number? Atomic number is the number of protons present in an atom, right? Now if you look at if we take a look at the modern periodic table, you see suppose hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen. If we go on, then we will observe that here elements are arranged in the increasing order of atomic number. You know that atomic number of hydrogen is 1, helium 2, lithium 3, beryllium 4. That means in the increasing order of atomic number they have been arranged in modern periodic table. So this is the modern periodic table. Now in this modern periodic table, here we have 7 periods. These horizontal rows are known as period. That is, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These 7 periods are there and 18 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This way up to 18. There is vertical columns are known as groups and horizontal rows are known as periods. So in modern periodic table we have 7 periods and 18 groups. Now let us come to the position of elements in the modern periodic table. So in modern periodic table, what is the position? Where should be the position of any element? What is the criteria on the basis of which factor we can get to know that this element will be in this group or in that period? There must be a common feature or common characteristics by using which we can categorize them in a particular group or in a particular period. Suppose you see here in case of the element, like suppose you see here we have placed hydrogen. Here it is placed hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, all are in the same group, right? In the same manner you see here fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, they are in the same group. Now how can we know that they will be placed in the same group? Why chlorine is not there? Why fluorine, the place of fluorine is not in any other places, why it is here? There must be the features or characteristics. What is the fact due to which they have been placed in this manner, right? That is in the same group. Now let us come to this. Here you see in case of fluorine, so what is there? Fluorine atomic number 9. If you write the electronic configuration, 2 7, right? In case of chlorine you see 2 8 7, right? So here you see in case of fluorine and chlorine, the outermost shell contain the same number of electrons, that is number of valence electrons are same. So those elements in which number of valence electrons are same or the outermost shell contains same number of electrons, they will be placed in the same group. So now we can say that fluorine, chlorine, bromine, they are having same number of valence electrons or same number of outermost shell electrons, and that's why they are placed in the same group. So the elements which are having same number of outermost shell electrons or same number of valence electrons will be placed in the same group. In the same manner, if we see hydrogen, lithium, sodium, for all of the cases you will get that outermost shell contain same number of electron, that is 1. You see here in case of lithium, so lithium 3, right? Atomic number 3, electronic 2 1, sodium 11 2 8 1, potassium 19 2 8 8 1, right? So for all of these cases, outermost shell contain, you see, same number of electron, that is 1 1 1. So the position of lithium, sodium, potassium will be in the same group, that is in group number 1. So I think it is clear how the elements are placed in the same group on the basis of number of valence shell electron, right? So if the same number of electrons are present in the outermost shell or the valence shell, outermost shell and valence shell same thing, okay, then they will be placed in the same group. Now let us come to the period. So in modern periodic table, if we take a look at this periodic table, we will see that lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, they are in the same period. In the same manner, you see sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, they are in the same period, that is in period number 3. So how can we know that how can we confirm that this element plays in this period only? This is on the basis of number of shell present in an atom. You see in case of sodium we have how many shell? 1 2 3 shell. In case of magnesium we have 1 2 3 shell. Note of the number of electrons are different, that is not the matter. The elements which are placed in the same period will contain the same number of shells. So here in these 3 cases, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, we are having 3 shells. Each atom is having 3 shells, right? So 3 shells means they belong to period number 3. So if 2 shell, then this particular element belongs to the second period. So on the basis of number of shell present in an atom, we can determine that in which period the position of the element will be. And shell, I think you know the shell. Suppose first shell is known as what? K, n is equal to 1. Second shell is L, what will happen? N is equal to 2. Third shell is what? Suppose M, n is equal to 3, right? So on the basis of this we can get this idea. Now in the next we have now one more thing is that how many electrons can be accommodated in a particular shell. It is determined by this particular formula, that is twice n square, where n is the number of shell, right? Suppose if it is the first shell, Then suppose in case of K shell, how many electrons will be? You see, 2 into, in K shell the value of n is 1, so 2 into 1 is square, that is 2 into 1 means 2. If it is L shell, that is L shell can accommodate maximum how many electrons? 2 into n means, in case of L shell, n is equal to 2, that means 2 square, so 2 into 4, that is 8 electron. This way, so how many electrons can be accommodated in a particular shell is determined by the factor twice n square, where n is the number of shell, right? So K shell can contain maximum 2, L shell can contain what? Up to 8 electron. So this is some of the features of modern periodic table, and in the next video inshallah I will discuss some trends in modern periodic table, and with that particular video the chapter will be completed, that is chapter number 5 will be completed. So today up to this 2 trend of modern periodic table, and it's my earnest request to you all that you please go through the book, you read the book again and again, and while watching this video carefully you listen what is being asked to do and what the concept is explained, and accordingly you read the book. I am very much hopeful that you can be able to understand it very properly and utilize the time in a proper manner, so that this lockdown period is being actually not as a causing the loss to your studies, but you can compensate your loss through the proper utilization and proper efforts imposed by you on your study. Thank you.